My name is Sarah Mitchell, and on Christmas Eve 2019, something happened that made me question whether I'd lived to see Christmas morning. It was around 8:30 p.m. I was alone in my parents' house in suburban Connecticut, wrapping presents in the living room while they were at my aunt's place across town. The snow was falling steadily outside, muffling everything into this peaceful, quiet blanket. I had hot chocolate, Christmas music playing softly, and I was completely at ease. This was my childhood home. I felt safe. Then I heard it. A single knock at the front door. I wasn't expecting anyone. I got up, walked to the door, and looked through the peephole. Standing on our porch was a man I'd never seen before. He was maybe in his 40s, wearing a dark winter coat and a knit cap pulled low. He wasn't holding any packages or caroling books. He was just standing there, staring directly at the door, at me, somehow. I didn't open it. Instead, I called out, "Can I help you?" He didn't respond. He just kept staring. After about 10 seconds, he knocked again. Same rhythm. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. My heart started beating faster. I thought maybe he was lost, or maybe he had special needs and couldn't communicate properly. I called out again, louder this time. "I'm sorry I can't help you. You should probably head home because of the snow." Nothing. No acknowledgement. No movement. Just that blank stare at the door. I backed away slowly and returned to the living room, keeping the lights on, trying to convince myself he'd leave. But 5 minutes later I heard it again. The same 3 knocks. Slow. Deliberate. Patient. I went to the window this time and peeked through the curtains. He'd moved. He was no longer at the front door. He was standing on a walkway about 15 feet back, facing the window I was looking through. The street light illuminated his face just enough for me to see his eyes locked onto mine. My blood went cold. I quickly closed the curtain and grabbed my phone. I texted my parents, trying to keep calm. "There's a strange man outside. Not leaving. Should I call the police?" My mom responded immediately. "Lock all the doors. We're 20 minutes away. Call 911 if he doesn't leave. Call 911 if he doesn't leave." I checked every lock. Front door, back door, basement door, garage, all secure. I returned to the living room and sat on the couch, phone in hand, watching the front window. 10 minutes passed. Silence. I thought maybe he'd finally left. Then I heard footsteps. Silence. I thought maybe he'd finally left. Then I heard footsteps. Slow, crunching footsteps in the snow. They moved along the side of the house toward the back. My stomach dropped. He was circling the property. I stood up and moved to the kitchen where I could see the back door. Through the window I saw him. He was standing in our backyard now, just beyond the patio, staring at the house. At me. He raised his hand and waved. Not a friendly wave. He raised his hand and waved. Not a friendly wave. A slow, deliberate gesture like he was acknowledging that he knew I was watching. That's when I knew this wasn't confusion. This wasn't someone lost. This was intentional. I dialed 911. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. 911, what's your emergency? There's a man outside my house. He won't leave. He's been circling the property and staring at me through the windows. I'm alone. The dispatcher stayed calm, asked for my address, and told me officers were on the way. She kept me on the line. Shh. Stay inside. Do not open any doors. Can you still see him? I looked out the kitchen window. He was gone. Panic surged through me. I spun around, checking every window, every angle. Where did he go? Then I heard it. The doorknob to the back door rattling. Someone was trying to open it. I screamed into the phone. "He's trying to get in. He's at the back door. Officers are 3 minutes away, Sarah. Stay on the line. Get to a room you can lock." I ran upstairs to my old bedroom, slammed the door, locked it, and shoved my dralt stand in front of it. I could hear him downstairs now, neurotic, and shoved my dresser in front of it. I could hear him downstairs now. The back door was still holding, but he was persistent. Rattling. Banging. Testing every entry point. Then silence again. I held my breath, phone pressed to my ear, listening. The dispatcher was talking, but I couldn't process her words. All I could hear was my own heartbeat and the blood rushing in my ears. Then I heard the sirens. The police arrived within minutes. I heard the sirens. The police arrived within minutes. I heard car doors slamming, voices shouting commands. I stayed locked in my room until an officer knocked and identified himself. When I finally came downstairs, there were 3 patrol cars outside, lights flashing red and blue across the snow. They found footprints. Dozens of them. Circling the house. Stopping at every window. Concentrated at the back door where he tried to force entry. But the man himself? Gone. Vanished into the woods behind our property. The officers stayed until my parents arrived. They filed a report, increased patrols in the area, but they never found him. No cameras caught his face. No neighbors saw where he went. He was just gone. My parents came home to find me shaking, wrapped in a blanket, unable to stop replaying those slow, deliberate knocks in my head. We spent Christmas Day installing a security system. It's been years now, but every Christmas Eve when the snow starts falling and the house gets quiet, I find myself checking the windows, listening for footsteps, waiting for those 3 slow knocks, because part of me knows he's still out there, and part of me wonders if he remembers where I live. If you hear knocking on Christmas Eve and you're not expecting anyone, don't look through the peephole, don't engage, just call the police. Because sometimes the person on the other side isn't there to deliver holiday cheer. Sometimes they're there to deliver something much, much worse.